An interesting part of your PhD was looking at genetic predisposition or genetic risk factors that could make someone perhaps more likely to get this complication. Can you maybe expound on that a little bit, and what does that actually mean, and who are these people, and what are we looking for?
And how do we find them? How do we avoid them?
Yes, all that stuff. An interesting part of your PhD was looking at genetic predisposition or genetic risk factors that could make someone perhaps more likely to get this complication. Can you maybe expound on that a little bit, and what does that actually mean, and who are these people, and what are we looking for?
And how do we find them? How do we avoid them?
Yes, all that stuff.
Now, I'm in the lucky position to be surrounded by people who are way more smarter than me on a specific line of field. So Leonie and Peter with ultrasound, and Peter with a lot of other stuff. But there's an immunology professor in Barcelona in Spain, and 10 years ago, he thought that there is genetic predisposition for some arthritis kinds, morbus Bechterew. And if you have a specific HLA-B27 combination, then you're more likely to get that specific disease. And with that in mind, he said, let's see all the patients with adverse events, take some buccal mucosa, and search it for all different HLA kinds. And HLA is some kind of receptor we have on all boundaries of our cells, and when foreign body comes in, then the HLA triggers the immune system to respond or not. And we found 2 specific HLA types that are there more often when somebody has an adverse event. So that was my PhD, and now we're trying to create a test, a DNA test you can use prior to the treatment. So we already use it in the Netherlands, and recently we sold it to the UK, and it's called BSure, BSURE Medical. And in time, the test will be better and better and better. But at this point, we cannot predict if somebody is getting an adverse event or not. So I always explain as follows. You have a traffic light, and all lights are red. But then Jake starts injecting. He's very experienced, know what he's doing. So the first light that was red turns green. Then Jake uses Juvederm, Restylane, whatever FDA-approved product. The second light that was red turns green. But the third light will always be red because you don't know how the specific immune system of the patient is going to respond. And that's where the BSure DNA test comes at light, we call it.
That's amazing. Thanks so much for watching the podcast clip. You can listen to the whole audio episode of the podcast on your favorite podcast app, on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. And please also leave us a review on the podcast app.
If you like what we do, please smash the like button, consider subscribing to the channel, and don't forget to hit the bell icon so that you get notified when we release new content.